It wasn't a stupid conversation.
Right.
Too soon. Too soon.
You know one thing on both sides of the football, a minimum.
The left tackle played bad. The right tackle.
Wait.
And welcome everyone to the show that the pros watch. I'm James Brown. They have already gotten started, folks. After a weekend of classic games and unforgettable plays, our pigskin heroes, all for sure, are champing at the bit to go. Hey, look, before we get to the real stuff, you two started off every doggone show.
That's right.
Brandon, you always are upsetting him, and you said he better go get a what kind of account?
I'm not starting nothing. I'm just telling Brandon to be careful.
Because?
Here's the deal. The deal. I miss football. I truly miss football.
And you want to get hit?
Yes, I need some contact. I'm going to bring in pads. I'm going to bring in helmets. What size helmet do you wear?
Don't worry about that.
I probably wear a 4X.
I don't need
I'm going to bring in helmets. I'm going to bring in shoulder pads. And I want to do the Oklahoma.
Okay, hold on.
And let me tell everybody right now, start a GoFundMe account right now.
Yeah.
Because he's going to need a lot
You weigh
of insurance.
230.
It's okay.
Go ahead, Phil.
No, just my first thought is he came in here and sat in the meeting and goes, you know, today I'm going to be quiet and not yell.
Brandon said
He said it, and he's been yelling for
the whole
20 minutes.
He wants to get hit.
So one thing I've learned, he's a liar. Okay. Coaches, you know, the coaches need to get in game shape too because they made a lot of bad decisions during the week. I won't get into them all because it's too much. Are we really going to do a damn segment on the Cowboys?
Hey,
with Michael Irvin?
Our guy is back here in New York. Espinoza called him. Mike had 3 speaking engagements, 4 other autograph appearances. He showed up with this.
He did.
Showed up with this.
Okay, we'll find out why. Hey, how are things going for Stephon Diggs and DeAndre Hopkins since they got traded? And how are things going for the teams that let them go?
Wow.
It's amazing. These two have really done it. And you know, too, I've heard for so many years, New England, they just have no weapons. I don't know how they won those Super Bowls, JB, but man, I guess looked like they had a lot of weapons to me on Sunday night. That's all I know.
Cam Newton looked good, man.
They look great.
Cam Newton looks so good. Oh, my goodness. When I tell you,
Brandon, you wouldn't even have to get open if you had him. He just throw it, make you catch.
Yeah, interrupt me one more time. It never ends well. It just never ends well. So stay.
I'm not afraid of you.
But what did I learn? Listen, week 1, I think, was a dress rehearsal. Week 2, this is playoff football.
Yeah.
I mean, you go from Dallas and Atlanta.
Yep.
You go from Seattle and the Patriots. Cam Newton playing the way Cam Newton playing. And Kyler Murray.
Yep.
Kyler Murray.
Even Kansas City and the Chargers.
Oh, Kansas City. But Kyler Murray, right? It's his sophomore season, right? The last 2 MVPs won it in their sophomore season.
Yes.
This may be the year for Kyler Murray. I'm just telling you guys, it was a lot of good football.
No, okay, you just gave me a layup for my what did I learn. Russell Wilson, this is the year for Russell Wilson to win MVP. Now I know there's a lot of talk, he's never been voted MVP before, but when you
blew my mind when I heard that.
Well, no, you got to understand how you vote, right? Like in the NBA, guys get a couple votes. It's one vote. So last year was the year where I thought Russell Wilson could have been voted MVP.
No question.
But then you got Lamar Jackson out there. So who are you going to vote for when you have one vote,
right?
So when you look at it, this is the perfect storm for Russell Wilson to finally step into that discussion. When you look at the last couple years, and a lot of people get on Pete Carroll, and it's like, let Russell cook. There's all that conversation. But what was the recipe for their success? It was defense. It was run the ball. And lean on Russ in those big moments. Now it's been a shift. There's been a culture shift where they're like, you know what? The recipe changed a little bit. Let's let Russ throw it around a little bit.
Yeah, you know, I said all this last week. It didn't make the show. They cut it out, but that's just how it goes.
That's a good job.
Cut it out?
But why are we talking about MVP after 2 weeks? This is like Heisman Trophy voting. Oh, who's the Heisman Trophy leader after week 1?
Being an old man. Stop being an old man.
Stop being an old man. I'm serious, Phil. You got to change this, man. You cannot live like this.
You look good.
Hold tight. Why is he old man?
What you mean?
What you mean? Why he
old man?
Hey, been on TV.
Wait, hold it.
The comments are still meaningful.
He's aging right before our eyes. I mean, who we
look at it. No, he looks
I got some age.
Wow,
Listen,
wow,
DK,
wow.
But
Okay.
listen, before we end this, DK Metcalf.
Oh, my goodness.
That is a problem for the NFL for the next.
And we're going to continue with that. Hey, folks,
Oh, my
as we
goodness.
head to the highlights, by the way, Russell Wilson has his PhD in sustained success. He should have been in every conversation. Anyway,
Right.
They couldn't wire
Still
you,
being a
Brandon.
Super Bowl.
They
Jamal-
couldn't wire you because you yell too much.
Yeah, and you know what?
Oh, I
Brandon?
did say I was gonna calm
would pray
down.
one day for you to put on pass and take a hit.
I'm bringing him in next week.
And Greg Zuerlein is going to get a chance to kick a field goal and win this pig of a game. Good snap, good hold, 46 yards. Yes, sir, kiss that pig. The final score, Dallas 40, Atlanta 39.
Oh,
Brandon, Ray,
Y'all didn't enjoy that movie Sunday?
enjoyed it. You celebrating that win. You going to celebrate that win.
Brandon, not only is he celebrating, look here. So we know there's jubilation in Jerry World. And Brandon, speaking of Brandon asking him questions, who suggested this segment?
Oh, yeah.
Brandon.
Brandon Marshall. Talking
Brandon
about playing
finally came up with an
executive producer.
idea. We're really proud of you, man.
Yeah, I just,
really proud.
Okay.
Michael.
Okay.
So this is a segment that Brandon has dubbed Ask Michael. As a matter of fact, Brandon, since you created the segment,
Yeah.
start it off.
Can I please say, can we keep it 2,000 and up? Let's not go to anything below 2,000.
Hold it.
2,000. Only 2,000.
Okay, Cowboys pick.
All right, let us say this. We want to ask you a question, so try to keep them. Listen, raise your right hand. Raise your right hand.
All right.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
So help me God.
Okay.
hold on,
All right.
Hold on.
There we go.
So, JB, everything's on the table. Anything we want to
go
talk
there.
about the Cowboys?
Don't put my boy out there like that.
Keep it
No,
up.
because I got okay, because like I mean, the
Cowboy
last
stuff,
10
Cowboy.
years, we're putting this team on a pedestal. Like,
Right.
I understand America's team and all of that, but what have y'all done?
Well, first of all, now, and the Cowboys have had talent and have won a lot of games, especially the last 5 years when we got Dak and Zeke. These two are the best players in the NFL.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to tell you right now, and Sugar, you got to agree with me on this. A win like Sunday is the kind of win that can put some air up under your wings as you fly all the way to Tampa for a Super Bowl. I'm just saying.
All right, let's start with these
Sugar,
questions.
Okay, let's get some questions.
Let's get some questions.
Look, I'm talking about, you know my favorite, Emmett, all the guys, Troy, you, everybody. But why hasn't the Cowboys been back since 1995 to the big game?
And you guys know it takes a combination. You got to have talent. You got to have the system that fits the talent. You got to have the connectivity where guys want to play together. And you got to have the coach. And I believe
So what's missing?
that all of it is there now.
They're spoiled. That's what they are. They're spoiled down there. They got American team.
They don't have
Coach McCarthy's doing a great job right now.
I think Coach McCarthy is a guy, because regardless of what you may think has happened on the football field, when you talk to the players, to a man, they love McCarthy. I don't know what McCarthy did. I just interviewed Dak Prescott.
Okay.
Hold on.
No, we ain't doing all that. We're trying to get to the point.
Michael,
Right.
let me ask you a question. Here we go. You swore to God. Okay, you ready? Are you still being paid by the Dallas Cowboys?
Say something, Michael.
There's a legends community in the Dallas Cowboys, and those jerseys still sell a lot.
Okay,
They sell
all right.
checks every now and then.
Okay, yeah. Did you cry after they won this past weekend?
Yes.
Were you crying?
Yes. Yes.
Yes or no? Yes. Okay, third. Hold
No
it.
idea. And I was texting all of you guys. Come on, man. And nobody texted me back. I said, somebody talk to me. No one want to talk to me. I kept texting everybody.
Hey, have you ever said a negative word ever? Have you ever said a negative word about Jerry Jones?
Hey, only because the man, he stands tall with me for a lot of reasons. He really does stand
Tell us about the yacht and the bus. Tell us about
most incredible. Now, the bus is one thing. The bus is one thing. But the yacht is insane. I don't know. You guys didn't see all those yachts.
Have you
in
slept
Miami?
on the yacht?
Yeah, I was on in Miami. He was in Miami for the Super Bowl. All of them had yachts there. All of them, of course, Jerry's was probably the biggest.
Your wife
but
sent-
it was incredible.
Your wife sent you to the store, and you asked her what about going to the store yourself?
Well, she was sending me to Home Depot to get some things to help reach up and get the tall lights on the ceiling. I said,
Oh, come on.
joking, baby?
You can't send somebody with pink fingernails to Home Depot.
Right. And let me tell you what I said. I said, baby. I said, are you sending me to Home Depot? And I said, you think Jerry Jones goes to Home Depot? He said, you ain't Jerry Jones. I was in Home Depot, and Phil, just like you said, when you go to Home Depot, people looking at you like,
what are you doing here?
Michael, this is my final question. When will the Cowboys get back to the Super Bowl?
Man, you got them this year.
No.
Man, you got them this year.
No.
Y'all sugar. Oh. You can't change that quick. We both got them in the Super Bowl this year.
When's the last time we saw 88 on the field and he's really fast?
He went for 100. 100 yards.
No, he said he was really fast.
This is not the Olympics. This is not the track meet. We are talking effectiveness. That's what 88 must be.
Michael!
In his own way, he must be effective.
Michael!
That's the big thing.
Yeah, there we go. Good answer. That was a good answer.
Check this out. Hold tight. So Stephen Espinoza called Michael Irvin. Michael had like 3 signing commitments. He had a couple speeches. And you did what? You did what to come up
when
here?
They called, no, my people told him, said, well, no, Michael has commitments.
Right.
My assistants. Michael has commitments. And then I was coming for my workout.
Right.
My workout.
People.
I'm leaving my work. We all got people. Stop it. Go ahead. My people call your people to try to get things set up.
You ain't played in 40 years.
But I know.
People.
Because I'm a cowboy. You still need people. That's what it is.
That's a good answer.
But let me tell you what they said. When they said, Michael, but she said, they called, they wanted you to come, but I told them you were busy. I said, what you tell them that for? I said, listen, call everybody else and cancel. I'm going. I said, with the Cowboys, that kind of win, I said, I don't know when I'm going to be able to get on like this.
Is that the greatest win in Cowboy history?
Go look at you, Michael.
Oh, there you are.
That's a young playmaker there.
Ooh, you were trimmed.
That's a young playmaker there. That's a young playmaker there.
I look just like that right now.
Oh, there is Cowboy Bob. All right, ride that thing. Oh, there we go.
And that's what they doing. They're going to ride this thing to the Super Bowl this year. Oh, my God, I'd do anything to go back to that fella.
Is that...
So the Houston Texans off to an 0-2 start to the season. That's a place that no squad wants to be because we know that historically only 12% of the teams that start 0-2 go to the postseason, even though we've got an extra team going into the postseason this year.
Good point.
Phil, as you look at this list, I mean, that's a little bit more than a third of the teams that don't look very good right now. Give the fans some hope. Who's the biggest surprise?
Well, you know, Houston played at Kansas City, and then they had the Baltimore Ravens coming down there. Now, who thought they were going to win either one of those games? Probably very few, if nobody. The team that maybe is the biggest surprise to me, the Atlanta Falcons. Their offense is unstoppable. And on the defensive side, I've watched both of their games. I mean, my gosh, if you just somebody line up and cover some guys, they're going to win the games. Their pass defense has been horrendous, and I think they can fix that.
Which is shocking because the way that defense is set up is to keep everything in front of them. And if they play complementary football, the Atlanta Falcons can easily be one of the premier teams in the NFL when you look at what they have on the offensive side. Matty Ice needs to step up and lead this team. He has more than enough weapons. I mean, you can say Calvin Ridley could be the best receiver in the league right now.
He's
outside of
best
DK
number
Metcalf.
2, at least, certainly.
Oh, yeah, we know Julio's still the guy, but the way he's playing right now, there's no excuse for this team to be 0-2. There's no point at all.
Yeah, you know what? I tell you what, I'm going to go with the same thing because I think the Atlanta Falcons has all of the pieces. And me personally watching that game, I'm saying to myself, why did you bring in Todd Gurley? Right? Todd Gurley's supposed to have 40 carries by the time when y'all got to 29 points. Right? From that point, you're supposed to punch them in the mouth and make them go the long route to get there. You spoke about the secondary because up front, what Jared Grady is doing up front, that young D tackle, I'm telling you, he is the engine that makes Atlanta defense go. But on the back end of that, it's just bad to watch that football. And you're right, Matty Ice, it's like you're at that point now, right? You saw this meltdown before in the Super Bowl, right? And now you come back and go this same route. Right? Sometimes you have to come out your comfort zone, and I think Todd Gurley is that guy.
So, Michael, hold on. Let me go back to the state of Texas, Michael.
Right.
We thought the Cowboys for sure, but Houston, and I heard what Phil said in terms of the schedule, but how long does that window stay open for the Texans?
Well, first of all, and I'm glad you directed me towards Houston, because I was about to get on these guys about going at Atlanta. Is that some kind of backslap?
Yeah.
Trying to come back at the Cowboys? Let it go now. Let it go.
No, the truth is the truth.
Let's get on. I understand, but let's get on and let's get to Houston.
Oh.
Because hey, listen, I had Houston winning this division, or at least right there with Tennessee in this division, and they have that's a hard schedule.
Yeah.
If you look at what they got coming up, this is a hard schedule right here. They got Pittsburgh coming up. Look at you got Tennessee, Green Bay. So that's a tough start, man. But I tell you, one of the teams that was on that list that still has a shot, and I know a lot of people are down on them right now, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, 100%.
You have to look at it as from the division. Okay, the situation
is going to be interesting to see where
the
you go about
Cowboys
this
are right
division.
there. The Cowboys have to go and play that monster in Seattle this week. So if Philly can just muster up a win, they're right there still in it. So I think they still have a shot.
Right, and they got 2 games against, of course, the Washington football team, the New York Giants, so they have a chance.
Right.
And Houston, look at the division they're in. That's what's really important. They got Tennessee. Tennessee's 2-0, but people are moving the ball up and down the field. Indianapolis and Jacksonville, so that gives them a chance.
Let's go around the horn. I know you guys have this committed to memory. The one team on this list that you think you'll say will make it to the postseason. Michael, real quickly.
Man, I would have to say we'll get 2 from the East, and then Philly will get in.
Okay.
Atlanta Falcons.
Wow.
The
Atlanta.
West.
I'm going to take Atlanta, too.
Wow.
The man say answer
3
quickly.
from the South.
Yeah, he said
I answer quickly. I'm just saying, you think we're going to get 3 from the South.
You know what
You're
it
going
is?
to get Drew Brees and Tom
Wow.
Brady.
It's all the
Ray
popcorn
Lewis.
you.
Hey, folks, as we just saw devastating injuries for the 49ers and the Giants this week, and those teams are not alone. Joining us to discuss all that took place last week, Judy, it just looked horrific out there, the number of injuries to household names in the league.
It was a really, really bad Sunday for injuries. Jimmy Garoppolo, Drew Lock, quarterbacks Nick Bosa, Saquon Barkley gone for the year. By one count, 7 ACL tears this weekend. Those are season-ending, of course. One of the concerns for the San Francisco 49ers, who played in MetLife Stadium, and they have to play back-to-back. They played the Jets, and then they played the Giants this week, is the turf. They complained about the turf, that their feet were sticking. The league is looking into that. Those fields, though, get certified. They pass inspection, so we'll see what comes of that. But the bigger question around the league is, why is this happening? And when I talked to people yesterday around the league, this was a concern coming off this very unusual offseason with no offseason conditioning program, no mini camps, a strange training camp, and then, of course, no preseason games.
And then, Judy, everybody jumps to hasty generalizations after 87 touchdowns in week 1. It's up. You know what? No preseason games.
Yeah, and some of those people said, well, what do you expect? Now they turned completely around. Listen, I don't think all the experts from the NFL are surprised by all the injuries. They expected hamstrings, Achilles. Really, there's not much you can do about knees. Saquon Barkley, he just was hit, gets tackled the wrong way, whatever. You can't do that. But the owners, why are they concerned so much, Judy? You know the reason why. It's what? They got stars and big people.
Yeah.
They want to keep them on the field, all that money on the field. So you got guys that are making $20 million that are on IR, and you don't get any action out of them. So that's one reason why the NFL has a committee for a little bit about everything. But just why are they getting hurt? You said it, the offseason. Ray, can you imagine going through a whole offseason and doing nothing, then lining up and getting a few practices and then trying to play a game?
I think that's the one thing you can't prepare for, right? And you know this, right?
Yes.
There's a totally different conversation when you talk about football shape, game shape. It's different. Preseason is one thing, right? I never forget when you talk about turf. We went up to Philly, and the turf was so bad. I mean, there was divots, JB, coming out the turf. And me and Goose, we looked at each other, we're not playing.
Wow.
The game was actually canceled, yeah. And so I understand the 49ers' concern. But what I'm telling you about being in shape, man, it takes six full months to get in shape for a real NFL season. I think the attitude of what these guys are going through, Phil said it, to lose these key players, that's a lot of money out of these people's pockets. Saquon Barkley being lost from the Giants, that's probably one of the biggest hits.
Could that potentially happen in the case of the 49ers coming back to the same turf again? Could they have that kind of impact and say, hey, we're just not going to play, if in fact you realize that during warm-ups?
Well, don't forget that, I mean, the league is going to look at the turf during the week, and they'll have to sign off on the turf. But certainly you
But he got
wonder
signed off on
mentally-
last week, right?
Sure, but you
But
certainly
mentally,
wonder
you're in your
mentally
head,
where it
JB.
is, right?
Mentally, you're really disturbed.
You know,
in your head.
you got to do, when you want to do a sport, you got to do specific things for that sport. And you can only, in football, you can train all you want by yourself.
Right.
But it's not practice. You know, who goes out and trains? Like, let's think about practice. You're on the field for 2.5 hours. You know, you don't do that in your workouts during the off season. You got to do football things. You got to get calloused up. It's like working. You got to get some calluses on your hands to do the heavy work. And the players, no OTAs, no mini camps, short training camp, no preseason games.
preseason.
I mean, come on. All that says
And
it
all that you're just detailing now, can the league, do you expect them to do anything coming out of all of this?
Well, certainly they're going to look at the end of this season at the injuries cumulatively, and I would bet we will go back to, even if we're in the same kind of circumstance next year, you're going to have a preseason game. They'll restructure training camp. Don't forget, they restructured training camp this year to give players a longer conditioning period because they anticipated that these were going to be problems. They were worried about it. So the fact that this is happening is not a total surprise, but certainly coming out of it, I can't imagine you're ever going to see a preseason where we don't at least have one preseason game.
I got to say one last thing.
Go ahead.
It's proven. They went and looked at all the teams. I asked Ray, we didn't have joint practice. I did. You never had them.
Yeah.
But they said the teams that had joint practices, playing against another team and practicing, had less injuries during the year than other teams that didn't. So,
Hey, was your mom...